Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on Faceless Tech Reviews Mastery. My name is Kimmy AI, and I'll be guiding you through this journey. Today, we'll explore how to master the art of creating impactful tech reviews without showing your face. We'll cover key strategies, tools, and tips to help you succeed in this unique approach. So, let's get started and unlock the secrets to faceless tech review success. All right, let's dive into the core foundations of building a successful channel. First, we have gear and setup, which is all about choosing the right equipment to ensure high-quality content. Having good audio and video gear makes a big difference in how your audience perceives your channel. Next, research and scripting is crucial. Understanding your niche, your audience, and planning your content effectively helps keep your videos engaging and relevant. Then, we move on to production techniques. This involves filming and recording methods that make your content visually appealing and professional. Techniques like lighting, framing, and camera angles all come into play here. After that, we have editing and optimization, where you polish your videos, add effects, and optimize for platforms like YouTube to boost discoverability and viewer retention. Finally, growth and monetization is about expanding your audience and turning your efforts into income. This includes strategies for growth, engagement, and monetizing your content through ads, sponsorships, and other revenue streams. All these elements are interconnected and form the backbone of a successful channel, aligning perfectly with our overall theme of sustainable content creation and growth. Welcome to Channel Foundations, Part 1. Today, we're going to explore the essential elements that build a strong channel strategy. First, it's important to understand that a solid foundation is key to long-term success. This involves defining clear objectives and understanding your target audience. When you know who you're trying to reach, you can tailor your messaging and choose the right channels effectively. Next, we need to consider the structure of your channel ecosystem. This includes selecting the appropriate partners, platforms, and tools that align with your overall business goals. Think of it as building a network that supports your brand and allows for seamless communication and engagement. Another critical point is consistency. Maintaining a consistent brand voice and message across all channels helps reinforce your identity and builds trust with your audience. It's about creating a cohesive experience that resonates regardless of where your audience interacts with you. Finally, remember that channel management is an ongoing process. Regularly monitoring performance, gathering feedback, and making adjustments are vital to keep your channels optimized and relevant. When these foundational elements come together, they set the stage for a successful, scalable channel strategy that supports your broader business objectives. So, why do faceless tech reviews really thrive in today's landscape? Well, audiences tend to value clarity and objectivity much more than personality or style. They want honest, straightforward insights they can trust. That's why eliminating bias is so important. By focusing on product performance, specs, and real-world tests, we can build trust quickly with viewers who are looking for genuine, reliable information. And on top of that, scaling content becomes much easier. We can rapidly repurpose B-roll footage, screen captures, and stock videos to keep our uploads consistent and efficient. All of these strategies help us connect better with our audience, making faceless reviews a powerful tool in the tech review space. When it comes to picking profitable tech niches, my focus is on targeting sub-niches that offer high CPM rates and frequent product cycles. These are the areas where you can really maximize your earnings and stay relevant in a constantly evolving market. For example, some high-value sub-niches include budget earbuds, mini PCs, smart home sensors, phone peripherals, and productivity. These categories tend to attract consistent interest and repeat purchases. One of the reasons these niches are attractive is because they typically have a keyword volume ranging from 10,000 to 100,000 monthly searches. That's a solid amount of traffic without the intense competition you see in more saturated markets. Speaking of competition, these niches usually have low to medium competition levels, making it easier for you to rank and get noticed. Overall, choosing these kinds of sub-niches aligns perfectly with the broader goal of building a sustainable, profitable, tech-focused business. By focusing on high CPM, high-demand areas with manageable competition, you set yourself up for success in both generating traffic and revenue. All right, let's dive into some competitor benchmarking tactics. First, we start by mapping out the top 20 channels. This means we look at their upload frequency, how many views they're getting, and the density of sponsorships within their content. It's about understanding their activity level and audience engagement. Next, we extract the top 50 videos from these channels. Here, we log the titles, take note of the thumbnails, and analyze the hooks used. This helps us identify patterns, what's catching viewers' attention, what's resonating, and what's driving engagement. Finally, we focus on identifying content gaps. This involves filling in missing comparisons or clarifying outdated features. Essentially, we look for areas where we can improve or differentiate our content to stay ahead of the competition. All of these tactics are about gaining insights, refining our strategy, and making smarter content choices to stand out in a crowded space. When it comes to brand identity, especially without showing a face or a person, the key is to create a memorable and consistent presence that clearly signals your authority and builds trust with your audience. This means paying close attention to how your brand communicates visually and textually. First, your channel name and description are crucial. Think of a name like Nanotech Labs, something that's catchy but also keyword-rich. Your description should promise value, like offering unbiased, data-driven reviews. This helps establish credibility right from the start. Next, visual consistency plays a huge role. Designing a minimalist logo and banner helps keep your branding clean and recognizable. Use a uniform style for your thumbnails. Think bold scores and color-coded categories to make your content instantly identifiable. This not only boosts your click-through rate, but also reinforces your brand's professional look. Overall, these elements work together to create a strong, faceless brand identity that viewers can trust and remember, aligning perfectly with our goal of building authority through consistency. All right, let's dive into gear and setup, part 2. In this section, I want to highlight how crucial the right gear and setup are to the overall success of our project. When we talk about gear, we're referring to the tools, equipment, or technology that we use to bring our ideas to life. Having the right tools can make a huge difference in efficiency and quality. Next, setup involves configuring everything properly, whether that's arranging your workspace, calibrating equipment, or ensuring all components work seamlessly together. A well-thought-out setup minimizes errors and helps us stay focused on our creative process. It's important to remember that good gear and setup are not just about having the latest or most expensive items. They need to suit your specific needs and workflow. When everything is aligned and optimized, it allows us to work more smoothly and confidently. Connecting this to the bigger picture, a solid gear and setup foundation supports all the other aspects of our project, from execution to innovation. So, investing time and effort here pays off in the long run, making everything else easier and more effective. Today, I want to walk you through some essentials for flat lay filming that can really elevate your content. First off, for our recommended setup, I suggest using a DJI Pocket 3 mounted on a telescopic boom arm. This allows you to capture stunning 4K footage at 50 frames per second from an overhead perspective, which is perfect for showing off products or detailed work. To ensure your narration is clear and professional, pair this with a wireless DJI mic too. It provides crisp, high-quality sound that complements your visuals beautifully. Now, if you're on a tighter budget, don't worry. There's a solid alternative. You can pick up a $20 tripod with a reversible center column. This setup might not be as high-tech, but it's versatile and stable enough for great shots. When it comes to lighting, natural daylight or diffused sunlight works well, but if you want more consistent lighting, adding a $30 LED panel is a smart move. It helps create even illumination, reducing shadows and making your flat lays look more polished. Remember, these tools and setups are all about making your visuals more professional and engaging, which ties into our overall theme of creating high-quality, accessible content with smart, affordable solutions. All right, let's walk through the screen capture workflow. First, you'll want to record your screen using OBS, setting it to 1080p at 60 frames per second with a 16:9 canvas. This ensures high-quality footage that's smooth and detailed. Next, make sure to enable the replay buffer feature. This is really handy because it allows you to save the last 60 seconds of footage, which is great if you want to capture unexpected bugs or moments without having to record continuously. Once you have your footage, the next step is to export it in a lossless format, specifically MKV. This preserves the quality of your video for any detailed analysis or editing later on. After that, you'll need to convert the MKV file into an MP4 format using Handbrake. I recommend using the fast 1080p 30 preset here, which balances quality and file size, making it easier to share or upload. This workflow is all about maintaining quality while keeping the process efficient, which is essential when you're documenting bugs or creating content for testing. It connects to our overall theme of optimizing workflows to produce reliable, high-quality recordings efficiently. When creating voiceovers without recording your own voice, there are several effective tools you can use. Platforms like Murph, Revoicer, and Pixflow are popular choices that offer high-quality AI-generated voices. These tools allow you to produce professional-sounding narration quickly and efficiently. When setting up your voiceover, choose a conversational tone to keep the narration engaging and natural. Setting the speed to around 1.05 times normal helps maintain clarity while adding a bit of energy. A slight pitch lift can also make the voice sound more lively and warm, making it more appealing to your audience. The workflow is straightforward. Simply paste your script paragraph by paragraph into the platform. This approach helps you control pauses and emphasizes key points effectively. Once you're satisfied, export your audio as a WAV file at 48 kHz, 16-bit resolution. This ensures the best quality for your presentation, making your message clear and professional. When it comes to sourcing B-roll footage, using royalty-free asset libraries can be a huge time saver. Platforms like Pexels, Storyblocks, and Runway ML are great options. They offer a variety of clips, including device rotations, close-ups of ports, and UI animations, which can really enhance your project without the hassle of shooting everything yourself. Now, to keep things efficient, it's important to organize your downloads properly. I recommend downloading 4K clips whenever possible because they give you more flexibility for cropping and editing without losing quality. Also, create a clear folder structure, things like laptops or smartphones, so you can easily find what you need later and just drag and drop those clips into your timeline. This approach not only saves time, but also helps maintain a professional, polished look throughout your project, tying back to our overall goal of creating seamless, engaging content. Now, let's move on to the third part of our process, research and scripting. This is where we really dive into understanding our topic deeply and crafting a compelling narrative. It's crucial to gather accurate and relevant information to support our message. Once we have that solid foundation, we start scripting, which means shaping our ideas into clear, engaging, and natural language. Remember, the goal here is to connect with our audience while staying true to the overall theme of the presentation. This step ensures that our message is not only informative, but also memorable and impactful. Let's dive into keyword-driven topic mining. First, you'll want to use research tools like TubeBuddy, vidIQ, and Google Keyword Planner. These tools help you discover long-tail phrases, such as Redmi Buds 4 Pro Honest Review, which are often less competitive and more targeted. Prioritizing high-potential keywords is crucial. Look for keywords with search volumes between 5,000 and 50,000, and aim for those with over 55% click-through rate potential, especially if they have weak incumbent thumbnails. This approach helps you stand out and attract more viewers. Next, building a content calendar is essential for consistency and strategy. I recommend creating a 90-day plan that clusters similar devices or topics. This allows for batch scripting, creating multiple videos around similar themes, and playlist optimization, which keeps viewers engaged and improves channel organization. Connecting these points, the goal is to systematically target valuable keywords and organize your content efficiently to maximize reach and engagement over time. All right, let's take a deeper look into the spec sheet. Building a solid fact-checking repository is essential to ensure that our scripts are both accurate and original. This means gathering reliable data from official sources to back up our claims. First, we need to collect official data, such as PDFs, FCC filings, and Geekbench scores. These sources provide verified information about device specifications and performance metrics. Next, creating a database is crucial. I recommend using tools like Notion to organize this data, where we can keep track of key details like the chipset, RAM, battery capacity, and warranty information. This helps us stay consistent and accurate across all our content. Finally, cross-referencing is a vital step. We should check user forums and community discussions to identify real-world issues, such as overheating or hardware inconsistencies. These insights can add valuable context and credibility to our reviews or scripts. Overall, this approach ensures we deliver trustworthy, well-rounded information that aligns with our commitment to quality and transparency in our content. Did you see that? This $39 dongle actually outperforms Apple's $179 adapter. That's the proof right there. Now, let's set the stage. Many of you might be wondering if cheaper accessories can really match or beat premium brands. Well, that's what we're here to find out. We ran some lab tests to compare their performance metrics directly. The results are quite revealing. Our test data shows that this more affordable dongle not only holds its own, but actually delivers better speeds and more stable connections in certain scenarios. So, what does this mean for you? It's about making smarter choices, saving money without sacrificing quality. And if you want to explore these options further, links below are affiliate, prices update automatically. Feel free to check them out and see the savings for yourself. All right, let's talk about compliance and transparency, which are crucial for building trust with your audience. First, it's important to remember that clear and upfront disclosure is key. When you mention affiliate relationships, be sure to do so both verbally and in the description within the first 30 seconds. This helps you stay compliant with FTC guidelines and shows your audience that you're honest about your partnerships. Next, tracking your reviews is just as important. I recommend maintaining a simple Google Sheet with serial numbers and purchase dates. This way, you can easily monitor liability and ensure your reviews are unbiased. Overall, these practices not only protect you legally, but also strengthen your credibility. Transparency builds trust, and that's what ultimately leads to long-term success. Now, let's move on to production techniques, which is part 4 of our presentation. In this section, I'll walk you through some of the key methods and strategies used in production. These techniques are essential because they directly impact the quality and efficiency of the final product. We'll look at how different approaches can influence the outcome, from planning stages to execution. It's important to understand that choosing the right production techniques aligns with our overall goal of creating effective, engaging content. As we explore these methods, I'll highlight the most important concepts, like the importance of consistency, resource management, and adaptability. Remember, connecting these techniques to the larger theme of quality and innovation helps us see how each step plays a role in achieving success. So, let's dive into the details and see how mastering these techniques can elevate our production process. When it comes to cinematic B-roll shots, using slow motion and macro techniques really helps elevate the visual quality. For example, capturing at 120 frames per second during cable insertion allows us to showcase intricate details that are otherwise hard to see in real time. Additionally, a macro slider is great for capturing texture shots, giving viewers a close-up look at the surface details and fine craftsmanship. Moving on to the 360-degree turntable, I recommend using a simple $25 Lazy Susan. It provides smooth, consistent rotations, which are perfect for showcasing the product from every angle. Just make sure to lock the exposure manually to keep the lighting consistent throughout the rotation, avoiding flickering or exposure shifts. Finally, organizing your files is crucial. Label your clips clearly, something like Zephyrus fan noise 120 FPS, so you can easily find what you need during editing. This organization saves a lot of time and keeps the workflow efficient, ensuring everything flows smoothly from capture to final edit. All of these techniques tie back to our overall goal of creating engaging, professional quality visuals that truly highlight the product's features. Let's take a closer look at how we're capturing this benchmark. Here, we're overlaying a real-time thermal camera feed using a FLIR mobile camera right alongside the benchmark tests like Cinebench or 3D Mark. This allows us to see exactly how the device's temperature changes during demanding tasks. Right after each test, you'll notice scores displayed prominently in bold on the lower third of the screen. This immediate feedback helps keep the flow seamless and engaging. We also synchronize audio spikes of the cooling fans to emphasize performance drops, so you can clearly see how the cooling system reacts under load. All these visual layers work together to provide an authentic, transparent look at performance. It not only proves the validity of the results, but also keeps viewers engaged by making the process more dynamic and trustworthy. Let's talk about how we set up for our overhead comparison flat lays. First, we focus on creating symmetry in our arrangement. We place the gadgets carefully on a matte black poster board, which helps keep the background uniform and professional looking. Then, we tape down all the cables to prevent any movement during the shoot and mark the lens center so we can frame the shots consistently each time. Now, when it comes to visual storytelling, capturing the right image is essential. We make sure to use identical lighting conditions for all shots, which helps us keep the focus on the differences between the devices rather than variations in lighting. Once we've got our shots, we cut on action. So, for example, zooming into specific ports or chipsets to highlight those details clearly. This technique allows us to emphasize the differences without needing to interrupt with voice or narration, making the comparison more engaging and visually compelling. Overall, this setup and approach help us produce consistent, high-quality images that effectively communicate the key differences in our devices, aligning perfectly with our goal of clear, impactful visual storytelling. Now, let's talk about using motion graphics for specs. Animating your spec callouts with After Effects templates can really give your presentation a professional and engaging look. You can add different types of animations, like slide-ins for GPU speeds, fade-ins for battery bars, and pulses for price tags. These subtle movements make the information more dynamic and easier to follow. And when it comes to readability, it's best to limit each line to 6 words, with 2 lines per card, especially for mobile viewers. That way, your audience can quickly grasp the key points without feeling overwhelmed. For efficiency, you should export these animations as MOGRT files for Premiere. This allows you to batch update numbers directly from a spreadsheet, saving you time and reducing errors. Overall, these techniques help streamline your workflow and make your specs visually appealing and easy to understand. Now let's move on to the next section, editing and optimization. In this part, we'll focus on refining our content to ensure it's clear, engaging, and impactful. This means reviewing your material carefully, cutting out anything unnecessary, and making sure your message comes across smoothly. Optimization is about tweaking your delivery, whether that's your tone, packing, or visuals, to maximize understanding and retention. Remember, the goal is to make every element work together seamlessly. This step is crucial because it transforms good content into great content that truly resonates with your audience. Ultimately, effective editing and optimization help us connect better, persuade more effectively, and leave a lasting impression. Let's talk about fast-cut retention editing. This technique is all about controlling pace and rhythm to keep viewers engaged. A good rule of thumb is aiming for an average shot length of around 2.5 seconds. This quick pace helps to maintain energy and viewer interest throughout your edit. Another powerful tool is using J-cuts, where you introduce the next visual early, before the current shot ends. This creates a seamless transition that feels natural and keeps the viewer engaged without breaks. Now, to really reset attention at key moments, insert zoom punches at critical beats, like when you say blazing fast. These zooms act as visual punches that refocus the viewer's attention exactly where you want it. By combining these techniques, fast packing, smart transitions, and attention resets, you keep your audience hooked from start to finish. This is essential for creating dynamic, engaging content that holds attention in today's fast-paced viewing environment. Now, let's talk about SEO-driven metadata and how it can really help your content get discovered by the right audience. First, every element you create, titles, descriptions, tags, needs to be optimized for search engines. This means crafting titles that are under 60 characters and front-loading the main keyword. For example, a title like Anchor 737 Review, 140W that beats Apple, instantly tells both users and search engines what the content is about. Next, your descriptions should be around 250 words, and it's important to include your main keyword twice naturally throughout the text. Don't forget to add semantic variants, related terms that help cover all the search intent, and include timestamp chapters if relevant. This way, your content becomes more comprehensive and easier for viewers to navigate. When it comes to tags, think beyond just the obvious. Incorporate misspellings like Anchor and even competitors' brands. This helps you capture fringe traffic, people who might misspell or are comparing similar products. Overall, optimizing every element with these strategies ensures your content is more discoverable, reaches the right audience, and ultimately drives more engagement. It's a crucial part of the broader SEO strategy we've been discussing today. Now let's take a look at thumbnail ob testing. Here, we have two variants. Variant A features a red X, which uses negative framing to highlight the competitor. This approach can evoke a sense of urgency or dissatisfaction. On the other hand, Variant B shows a green check, providing a positive affirmation of our featured product. The idea is to use TubeBuddy's ob testing tool to rotate these thumbnails every 24 hours over a span of 14 days. This rotation helps us gather enough data to see which thumbnail resonates more with our audience. We'll be tracking the click-through rate, or CTR, during this period, aiming for an improvement above 8%. The key here is to analyze how different visual cues, like colors and framing, influence viewer engagement. Ultimately, this testing aligns with our broader goal of optimizing our content to attract more viewers and increase engagement. It's a strategic way to fine-tune our presentation and ensure we're using the most effective visual elements. When it comes to captions and reaching a global audience, making your content accessible is key. By auto-generating English captions, we can quickly provide a basic transcript, but it's important to review and correct technical terms like "gaen" to ensure accuracy. This way, our viewers get the right information without confusion. Additionally, uploading SRT files in languages like Spanish, Hindi, and Portuguese allows us to tap into high CPM markets, increasing our reach and engagement. And for mobile viewers, using a clean, sans serif font at 24 points ensures that all on-screen spec numbers and details are clear and easy to read, no matter the device. Overall, these strategies help us make our content discoverable and accessible worldwide, aligning with our goal to connect with diverse audiences effectively. All right, let's dive into the next part of our discussion, growth and monetization. In this section, we'll explore how the business scales and generates revenue. We'll look at the key strategies behind expanding our user base and increasing earnings. It's important to understand that growth isn't just about numbers. It's about sustainable development that aligns with our overall goals. We'll also examine different monetization models and how they fit into our long-term vision. Connecting these concepts to the bigger picture helps us see how each piece supports our overarching strategy for success. So, let's unpack these ideas and see how they come together to drive both growth and revenue. All right, let's talk about the affiliate stack strategy. First up, diversifying programs is really key. Instead of relying on just one platform, I recommend spreading out across Amazon, Newegg, and B&H this way. You're reaching different audiences and minimizing risk. Next, there's the concept of geo-redirect. When you're working internationally, it's smart to use tools like Genius Link to ensure that clicks are redirected to the appropriate regional store. This improves the user experience and boosts conversion rates. And lastly, strategic placement of your links matters. Make sure your top link is in the most visible spot, ideally placed first. Also, when you're presenting or creating content, mentioning these links at specific times like around 0:45 and 8:00 helps increase click-throughs. All these elements come together to build a more effective and resilient affiliate strategy, connecting nicely to the overall goal of maximizing engagement and revenue. Let's look at the sponsorship rate card. Creating a professional media kit is essential to attract high-value sponsors who can truly add value to your content. When setting your rates, base them on solid data. For example, a good rule of thumb is to start with a rate of $100 per 10,000 views for a 60-second mid-roll ad. And if you're offering exclusivity, meaning you're the only sponsor, you can justify a 20% premium on that rate. Now, it's not just about numbers. You also want to target the right partners. Think about accessory makers who have an MSRP margin over 40%. These are the brands that can absorb your fee and still make a profit from the sales they generate through your influence. Connecting these points to the overall theme, it's about being strategic, using data to set fair, attractive prices and partnering with brands that align with your audience and can benefit from your reach. This approach maximizes both your earning potential and your credibility. Now, let's talk about evergreen playlist funnels. The idea here is to create playlists that encourage binge watching. For example, you might put together a series like Best Budget Earbuds 2025 and set the default sort to date-added newest. This way, viewers are naturally guided through the most recent content, keeping them engaged longer. Next, it's crucial to use end screens effectively. Always add an end screen element that points to the next video in your playlist. This simple step can significantly increase session time because it encourages viewers to keep watching without having to search for what's next. Both of these strategies work together to build a seamless viewing experience, making it easier for your audience to stay engaged and increasing overall watch time. Remember, the goal is to create a flow that feels natural and keeps viewers coming back for more. Now, let's talk about the analytics iteration loop. This is all about using your data to keep improving your content and channel performance over time. Each week, you want to export that data and focus on analyzing the audience retention curve. Look for the first major drop-off point, which typically happens around 30 to 45 seconds into your video. That drop-off indicates where viewers start losing interest, so it's a critical moment to examine. Once you've identified that spot, you can go back and re-edit future videos. Maybe you tighten up pauses, add more engaging visuals, or even insert a quick teaser at that exact timestamp to reignite viewers' interest. The goal here is to keep people watching longer. And finally, always track your progress. Aim for around 55% retention on your 10-minute videos. That's a sweet spot for maximizing ad revenue. This continuous loop of analyzing, adjusting, and tracking helps you refine your content strategically and ultimately grow your channel more effectively. Thanks so much for your attention today. I want to give a special thanks to Kimi AI for their support and collaboration throughout this project. It's been a true pleasure sharing this journey with you all. Remember, the key takeaway is how innovative tools like Kimi AI are shaping the future of our industry. I hope you found this presentation insightful and inspiring. Thanks again for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you all soon.